Laurie, and I am at my studio Yoga Bound, and this is probably the first time that you've seen this newer mural, and Allison Whitehouse painted it, so if you haven't seen it in person, you should definitely stop by the studio. Today I want to do a video about exercises and poses that you can incorporate in your practice or just in your day to help with core and back strength. And a lot of people come to my classes in the first place because they are experiencing back pain, and I think that most people at some point in their life will have some sort of bout of back pain, so all of this is super useful. And in my personal teaching, I've started to incorporate different strengthening exercises that aren't necessarily directly yoga poses, but they're things that we can incorporate in our yoga practice that help to activate the core. And when we say core, I mean all around. So they help to activate the core in a way that will keep you stable throughout the day and also feel like you can have a lot of control over your spine and move it in the ways that you want to move it. So I'll start this practice today with some really gentle mobility work, and then we'll go into some stability exercises, specifically 3 exercises that are called the McGill Big 3. And they were developed by a doctor named Stuart McGill, and if you haven't read any of his books, I highly encourage you to do so. And it'll also give you more information about how to incorporate this, especially if you are experiencing some back pain and you find that this little taste of it has helped you in some way. So I will basically explain those, go through them with you, but in order to really get the benefit of this, it's something you're going to have to do every day and really do it diligently, and maybe even a little longer than we'll do it in this video. So I'll start with those, and then we'll get into some yoga practice that hopefully will help you address some things that maybe you're feeling pain about, or also just you want to build some strength in your core and your spine. So today's practice will begin on hands and knees, and you might want to incorporate a blanket and a couple blocks in this practice. So if you're using a blanket, you'll place it under your knees. Coming onto hands and knees with the knees about under your hips, hands under the shoulders. And keeping the arms straight, start to drop your chest and belly down as you gaze up. Not really going for anything extreme here, just feeling a little opening in the front body. Then on an exhale, gently press your spine up towards the ceiling as you drop your head, rounding your back. And we'll go in and out of this a couple times, inhaling chest and belly drop. Gaze goes forward and up. Exhale, round through your spine. Keep going at your pace. You don't have to move with my breath. Make sure your shoulders are broad and that you're continually pressing down into the ground so that your shoulder blades stay connected to the back of your rib cage. Go through about one more set of this. And then you'll make your way to a neutral spine position. When we come into this extended tabletop, really notice if you're hanging down into the low back and if that's your tendency like this, and try to find a more neutral curve. So you'll start to feel your core engage along all sides, and try to hold your spine really still. And reach your right arm forward with the palm facing down, and your left leg back with the foot flexed and the toes facing down. And to add a little bit more activation in the upper body, make a fist with your right hand. And notice if the belly is drooping down. Try to keep the low back really still here. Take another breath, building some endurance on this side. And then we'll slowly let go of the fist. Almost place the hand and knee back down to where we started, keeping the spine really still, and then extend them back out, making your fist again. Try not to move your spine this whole time. Just keep it really still. Strong through the whole core, into the sides, the front, and the back. Reaching back through your heel, forward through your fist. Another breath. Then almost touch the ground again. Hover it. And extend back out. Last hold here. Checking in with the low back. Engaging through the core on all sides. Last breath here. Then as you exhale, gently lower down. Good. Moving into the next side, do a little core check. If you're hanging here, draw it back to center. Left arm forward, right foot back. Making the fist again, finding some activation through your lats. Reaching back through your heel. Toes pointed down. And your gaze is just slightly ahead. Neck is long.
So really try not to hold your breath here. And then gently rest your hand and knee down. Take another couple cat-cows. Inhale, chest and belly drop, gaze goes forward. Exhale, round your spine. One more time, inhale and exhale. So that extended tabletop with the arm and leg reaching out is the first exercise of the McGill Big 3 that I'm going to show you today. So next one, lie on your back. And once you get there, make sure the spine has its neutral curve. So you don't want to be really arched like this. You also don't want to be flat. So find your neutral lumbar curve. Take your hands and place them under that curve. So basically what that's going to help us do is maintain the curve so that we can't flatten out our low back. And we'll also be able to notice if we disengage in the core so much that we're arching away from the hands. So just keep the hands right there. Extend your right leg out with the heel on the ground, and we're keeping the left leg bent. So what we'll try to do here is not bend the low back at all, but think about lifting our chest and our gaze up towards the ceiling a little, and we'll also elevate the elbows. So let me show you what not to do first. Don't curl like this. So instead, think about just lifting and hovering off the ground. So we'll lift the elbows, lift the shoulders, lift the head, but you're thinking about reaching up, and you might feel a little shaking already happening in the core. Holding for another breath, make sure you're still breathing, and then lower down. Take a breath to rest here. And then again, just lift your gaze. Try not to tuck your chin, lift the elbows. Feel the belly activate. Your right heel is still on the ground, we're not lifting the leg. And then gently lower it down. So low back is staying pretty still through all of this. So it really helps to stabilize there, all around the spine and the low back. Okay, one more time on this side. Lift up, hold it there, breathing, staying steady, and let it go. Switch your legs. Same thing here. So now your left leg is extended, right leg is bent. Lift, just elevating the shoulders, elbows, and head without tucking the chin in. Hold it there, and lower. Keeping the breath steady. Again, lift up. Not holding the breath. And lower. Taking a breath to rest. One more time, lift up. Not holding the breath. And lower. And relax there. And ideally you do several more sets of that, but just so you get the idea, I'll do one more set on each side, one more set of 3. But you could do more than this, just depending on how many you can do with good form before you really start to get fatigued. And also, like I said, I recommend reading a book by Stuart McGill so that you really have a good idea of how to incorporate these exercises. So again, we're back with the left knee bent, right leg straight. Lift up. Let it hover, not rounding the spine and the low back. And let it go. Take a breath to rest. And again, lift up, hovering the elbows, hovering the shoulders and the head, not tucking the chin, and lower. Taking a breath to rest. We have one more on this side. Lifting, finding that hover, and lower. Switching legs. Left leg out, right knee bent. 3 on this side. So lifting elbows, shoulders, and head. When you're ready, lift up. Low back stays still, and you're still breathing but engaging through the core. That's an important piece. And lower. Taking a breath. And lift. Lower. A breath to rest. One more on this side, lifting up. And lower. Good. Then relax that, extend both legs out, extend your arms overhead, full body stretch. And that's the second exercise of the McGill Big 3. Now going on to the last one, maybe the most difficult one.
is a series of rolling side planks. So we'll be on our forearms, and we start with this sort of shape on the ground with our hands. And we'll be rolling over to one side, and then rolling to the middle, and then to the other side. Now, I'm going to do this with my knees lifted. However, if you find it really challenging to keep your spine still and straight, then I recommend putting your bottom knee down for this exercise. And I'll demonstrate what that'll look like. And I'll demonstrate the form of it first before we actually do our holds. Setting up, you'll create a little triangle with your forearms. And notice your low back again. So if you've got this big arch in it, start to straighten it out and find a forearm plank with a pretty good distance between your feet because our heels will be rolling side to side. Now, we're trying to roll everything at once in the spine so that there's no twisting action of the hips leading or the shoulders leading. So keep everything really still and tight in the core, but you're still breathing. Then you pick a side to start on, roll your heels over completely, keep pressing through the forearms, and make sure that you don't have that arch in your low back again. So it's just a natural curve in the spine. Then we would come back through the middle, find your stability there. We'll hold it for a several breaths when we actually do it. And then you go over to the other side, rolling the whole spine over as a unit. So not leading with the hips or leading with the shoulders. So that's how you do it with knees lifted. If you're going to put a knee down, whichever side you're going to start on, you drop that knee, maybe move your shin a little to the side, and you'd be like this. Same thing, lifting the knees up at center, other knee would drop, roll to the side of your extended leg or the extended foot, and come back. So that's the idea. And we're just going to do 3 on each side for today. But like I said, you're going to explore how many reps you can do with good form, and you're holding it for 7 to 10 seconds, then switching, then going to the other side. So let's get into it. Set up your triangle on your forearms. Check in with the low back, so straightening it out pretty well. Extend through your feet. Have some space between them so you can roll to the sides of your feet. Pick a side to start on, decide if you're going to use your knees, and try not to lead with any particular part of your spine. Let it move as a unit. And we're here. Breathing. Neck is comfortable. And core is strong. Back to the center. Rolling with control. And try not to let the hips lead when we go to the other side. But let's hold center for a moment here. Still with your breath. And then other side. Let the heels come all the way down. Keep pushing down for your forearm. Low back has a natural curve. And you're still able to breathe. Then slowly move back to center. We'll hold the center. Low back is strong. And then not leading with the hips, but with the whole spine. Heels drop to the other side. So the entire side of the foot is down here. Breathing. You guys are doing awesome. We're already on our second set. Back to the middle. Whole spine moves together. Breathe here. We're not going to want to keep pressing down through both forearms. And then other side. Whole spine moves together. Remember, you can always use knees. Doing great. Keeping everything together. Back to the middle. Hold it. And then other side. This is our last set. Low back strong. Don't hold your breath. It'll make it a lot harder. Keep pushing down. And then back to the middle. Nice deep breathing. Last side. Everything goes together. Keep pushing firmly into your form. Back to center, last piece. Hold it there. And then let the hips drop. Make a pillow with your hands and rest for a moment. Placing your forehead down on the tops of your knees. Noticing how you feel here. Maybe your spine feels longer, stronger, or maybe you don't notice a difference at all. But just bring awareness to what's there in your sides, in your low back, body while your belly is touching down to the mat. And we'll set up for some more mobility work. So those 3 exercises that we explored were the McGill Big 3. So like I said, look it up, or you can practice those until you feel really strong and then start to add repetitions. So from here, we'll move into our Sphinx pose, placing elbows under the shoulders, forearms parallel to each other. And just find some opening through the front body, pressing into the forearms, feeling like you're dragging yourself forward. And keep pushing down so that your neck is long, shoulders are moving away from the ears. And just finding your breath here. Now starting to add a little bit more activation. Feel your low belly kind of draw in and up, so your tailbone feels like it's lengthening towards your heels. Then imagine your rib cage moving up and forward away from your pelvis, so you're getting so long through your lower back. Just finding a little bit more activation through your entire core on all sides. Keep breathing. And then move your elbows out to the side. Make the pillow with the tops of your hands again and rest your forehead down. Find your breath again. And we'll do a couple variations of locust, still staying on the belly, and use that activation of your core to feel like the ribs and the pelvis are moving further away from each other so you feel really long through your back, and there's no sort of compressive feeling in your lumbar spine. So start to take your hands beside you, about a 45-degree angle out from your body with the palms facing down. Your forehead can rest down on the mat to start. Begin to roll your shoulders back. Hands are still on the ground. Then gently lift your chest and head, not as high as you can, but just a bit, and feel like your ribs are pulling forward, and that'll start to activate everything around your core. Then start to lift up a little higher, keeping that feeling of ribs moving forward. Maybe the hands lift too, and really roll the shoulders and the chest open here. If all that's feeling good, maybe try to lift the legs as well, keeping them straight, pointing the toes behind you. And it doesn't matter how high you lift. Think about getting longer, reaching forward through the chest, back through your toes. And if you feel any sort of compression in your low back, drop down a little, see if you can find that engagement of length, then maybe lift up a little. Take another breath. And exhale. Make the pillow with your hands, lower back down. Letting the engagement go for a moment, breathing into your back body. Now you can do that again. If you'd like to add maybe a little bit more strengthening activity to your low back, reach your arms forward with the palms facing each other. So thumbs are pointed up towards the ceiling. Now before we actually lift anything, again find the low belly. So you're pulling it in and up, and the tailbone will lengthen down towards the heels as you're doing that. So it's almost like you're tilting your pelvis back a little. So try to find that activation. And before you really lift, try to pull your ribs forward. And you might not actually move at all, but you should feel some muscular engagement. So ribs are pulling forward away from the pelvis, toes are reaching back. Start to roll your shoulders back, hands, chest, and head will start to lift. Pull your sternum forward, tailbone lengthens down. You can always put the hands down or bring them back to the sides if this is too much. Maybe lift the feet too. Keep pointing the toes back, shoulders away from ears. Reach forward and back. Get long. Take another breath. And exhale, make the pillow with your hands, lower everything back down, and relax for a moment. Maybe bending the knees and windshield wiper the feet side to side. Letting the engagement in your abs go. And then come back to center. Letting the feet go back down. One more option here. So if one of those two felt really challenging and you want to keep working that, do that. If you want to add a little bit of movement to it, that's what's up next. So start with the hands extended out again,
palms facing each other, so thumbs are pointed up. Before we do any lifting, find your low belly. Draw it in and up, almost like it's reaching forward. Then tailbone lengthens down, so you're not strongly tucking it, it's just a slight tilt of the pelvis to find the engagement that we're looking for to elongate the low back. So once you've got that, think about your ribs dragging forward away from your pelvis. So feel so active through your core, really strong. Then when you've got all that going, roll the shoulders back, lift your hands, lift your chest, head. Maybe stay there. Maybe lift your feet. And breathe. Reach the chest more forward, toes more back. And it's not about how high we're getting, we're building endurance here in the low back. Now if you're adding some movement, with your exhale, bend your elbows out to the side, palms will turn to face down, lift your chest a little more, and then start to sweep the arms forward, like you're really reaching, but you're still hovering there. Then open up again, move with your breath in a way that makes sense, and sweep them forward, palms start to face each other, long through the neck. One more time, open up, bending the elbows, and reach forward. Hold it there for a breath. Then let the hands come down as a pillow, let everything relax, and breathe. Letting go of the core. Finding those windshield wiper motions with the feet if that felt good. Think about breathing into your low back, into the back side of your rib cage, just so you can find and create some space for your breath to be full and relaxed. Then coming back to center, release your feet down. Take your hands beside your torso. Press yourself up to hands and knees. And grab onto blocks if you have them. And you might not need blocks, but they can make it a little bit more comfortable. So we'll stack them up on either side of the mat. The highest height could be a good place to start. And then scooting back so the blocks are in your hands, swing your right leg forward. Then begin to lunge forward so that you feel a little stretch in the front of your left hip into your hip flexor. And we're also checking out that our front knee and ankle are about stacked on top of each other. And also that the front knee is pointed forward and it's not collapsed in. So if that's happening, you might think about pulling your right hip back a little bit more until you feel the activation in your glute. And then maybe you come up to fingertips, roll your chest open. Good. And then as you exhale, bring your hips back. Let the front toes lift as you straighten into the front leg. It doesn't need to go all the way straight. Maybe even focus on keeping a micro bend in it to find some stretch through your right hamstring. Inhale, reach your chest forward. Exhale, maybe you go down a little further with your chest. Take another breath there. Inhale. And exhale. Come back forward into your lunge. And instead of really pressing your hips forward now, bring your hips back just a little. So it's like your hips are trying to stack more over your back knee now. And still be aware of where your front knee is in space. Drop back a little with the right hip so it's pointed directly forward. Maybe at this point you can come off of the blocks. And if you'd like to add some movement, extend your arms up. And like we were just doing on the floor, think about low belly pulling in and up, tailbone lengthening down towards the back part of your back knee, and hold it there. Breathing with it. Maybe stay there. Or begin to bend your elbows, open through your chest, finding some bend into the spine. And then start to drag your arms down and forward, diving your chest forward, rounding your spine, and then pull yourself up with a rounded back. Coming back into your back bend, chest is open, elbows down, diving forward, uncurling through the spine into the opposite direction, drawing yourself back. Do it one more time. Trying to go with control, stability in the hips. Lifting back up into your back bend, hold it there. Extend the arms up. Exhale, hands come down, start to straighten into the front leg again, letting the toes lift. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. One more breath. Begin by pressing your hips forward until you feel some sensation in the front of your right hip now. And as we're doing that, we're making sure that this front knee is not collapsing in, so pull your left hip back a little. Find some engagement in the glute. And just be with the stretch for a moment for the hips. Making sure you're still breathing. And then we'll start to bring it back into the hamstring stretch for the left leg. Hips go back, front toes lift. Keeping a micro bend in the front knee, or maybe a big bend. As long as you're feeling some stretch through the front hamstring, you're doing it right. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold forward. Taking another breath. Inhaling. Exhale, maybe a little deeper. And coming back into your lunge. And as we find it, this time hips go back a little, like they're trying to travel over your back knee. Lengthen your tailbone down as you pull your low belly up. So you're finding the strength through your core. And maybe you stay down low with your hands, or they extend up. Finding your balance here. And now we're in this more upright position. Still keep attention on your front leg, that the knee is not collapsing in. And if you're adding some more movement, start to goal post your arms, bending the elbows, opening through the chest. And then start to dive forward, hands go down to the sides and forward into a rounded back position. And then draw yourself back up with a rounded spine. So you're finding a lot of movement and strength through each part of your spine as you go through these oscillations. Going through a couple more. In a way that makes sense to your breath. Lifting up. And diving forward. Last one. Hold it into the back bend, opening through the chest, elbows bent. Finding that. Then extend your arms up. Hands come down to the blocks and sink your hips back for your hamstring stretch. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold forward. Breathing there. Inhale. Exhale. And then come forward a little so you can put your knee down. Moving the blocks out of your way. Hands come down into your tabletop. Inhale, chest and belly drop, gaze goes out. Exhale, round your spine. One more, inhale. Exhale. Good. And this might be a nice place to stop if you're feeling that a lot. I'm already pretty sweaty. But if you want one more challenge that can really help to strengthen, especially into the obliques, and it's just a great core pose in general, side plank is what's coming up next if you want it. And we already did our little rolling side planks. This one will be a little different, and we'll find it from downward facing dog. I'll explain it to you. It will put more pressure on the wrists, so you could find it on the forearm still. Or maybe this is something you skip altogether and just keep working that first bit because it's still going to make you really strong. If you'd like to try this, come into your downward dog, spreading your fingers out, pressing down through the hands, toes are tucked, knees and hips lift. So you're creating like an inverted V shape with your body. And even here, notice, are you collapsed into the belly? Or can you find a little engagement through the core? Low belly in and up, tailbone lengthens down, so you get long through the low back. And maybe this is something you work instead. If you want to try the side plank variation, we're doing it with the top leg lifted. So as you inhale, extend your right leg up, keeping the spine really strong. Start to bend your right leg and open your right hip up. Lift your left heel though, and start to turn your foot to the side, bending into the left leg. Then shift your weight into your left foot and your left hand, extending the right arm up, and you can keep the top leg bent and just be with that. Maybe finding an extra side body opening, extending the top arm overhead in an arc. Keep pushing down through your limbs. And then start to rotate back to your downward facing dog. And you can hold that as long as you want, just working the endurance there. Once you get back to your downward dog, ribs draw in a little. So tail back leg. Left hand starts to float up. Keep pressing down through your limbs. Extending the left hand. Maybe going for that extra side body opening. Breathing. Start to rotate. Downward dog. Chest presses back towards the thighs. Last breath. And then slowly come down to your knees.
Thank you all for watching. Always feel free to give me more requests. And this is just these are some of the ways you could address core and back strength. Certainly not all of them. See what works for you. If you're experiencing serious pain, you should definitely see a professional, or maybe make an appointment with someone you trust and get their advice on it. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you soon. Bye.